for you at Westside Decorating Center. And a good morning to you. I'm Art Lewis on the road today. I can't believe it's been a year. I say that all the time. But it has been 1 year since we were here at the Bay County Library System used book sale at the Bay Civic Arena. And we're back. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday, we'll be telling you about it throughout the hour. Now, our guest this morning is and then isn't. Figure that out. She is the director of the Bay County Library System. But at 10 o'clock when we're done, she won't be the director of the Bay County Library System. We say good morning to Trish Burns. Trish, good morning. Oh, hang on a sec. There we go. Go ahead. I didn't want to retire that early.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
I'm good. All right. We got to start with the explanation. I was told you'd be on the show, and then you were done. And I said, what do you mean? Well, she's retiring, and the last thing she's doing is your show. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Nope, that's pretty close. I'm actually going to be in the office until 5 today. So
you're going to do
yes,
the whole day.
I am going to do the whole day. But I made sure that I was going to be available for this last day for one last radio show with you, Art.
Well, we're pleased, of course, to have you with us, and not so pleased that we won't be able to do that again, at least in a library fashion. Let me ask how you came to this decision, because you've been in libraries. How long? How long's your career been?
42 years.
She doesn't look that old, folks, but that's all right.
I don't. I know. No, I started in high school when my grandmother went to the Butman Fish Library and saw a sign for a page that they were looking for a part-time person. So I went in there and got that job. And then over the last 4.2 decades, I've been doing different library work at different library buildings and different library systems. And the last 10 years, I've been the director at the Bay County Library System.
Before that, you were in the Saginaw system, weren't you?
I was. I was director there for 10 years prior to this. And then I did reference, I did children's, I did story times, I did all sorts of things all over the world.
Okay, so if you're a library system looking for a 10-year director, I have one for you. Actually, you know, we were talking before the show. There is a certain, how do I describe it? A certain relief comes about when you retire, because you're not walking away from libraries. You will always be involved somehow, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's hard to walk away from a 42-year career and just call it quits. And libraries are still so important and so necessary and so vital to our communities now that I'm still proud to be involved with libraries and feel that it's something that the community deserves good libraries, and they really love their libraries in this community. And I will be doing some work for the National Association for the next year and a half.
You've been involved with them for a while.
I have. I've worked with ALA and PLA on a national level for quite a few years. I've been very fortunate to be able to do that.
But these things don't require you to make all the decisions.
No. There's a lot of
yourself,
exactly.
Right?
There's a lot of collaboration in the work that I'll be doing in the next year and a half, as there is in the work that I do right now. But it will be very nice to come in and do the work and not have to necessarily make all the hard decisions.
So let's go back to that page job.
Mm-hmm.
Had you thought about becoming a librarian before that?
It had never entered my mind. I had always been a reader, but I didn't really know what librarians did, and it wasn't something that was a career that was, put in front of you very often, because you go into the library once a week, you ask the questions, you get the books, you leave, and it wasn't something that was, in front of you as a career. And my grandmother actually got me involved, told me to go get a job at the library when one opened up, so I did, because that's the kind of grandma she was. You did what she said. Mm-hmm. And it was just something that I fell in love with and realized early on the importance of reading and the importance of a space for all of the community to come in and use equally and it just became, it ended up being just a wonderful career.
So when you went to college, you decided you're going to go to college. Was library science your curriculum, or did you not decide till you were in?
When I went to Saginaw Valley, library science really was not.
They didn't offer it, did they?
No, they didn't. Wayne State is actually, I think, the only school in the state that still does a library. Oh, U of M does too. But no, when I went to Saginaw Valley, I didn't know what I was going to do, and went and got my undergrad, and then I was working for the Saginaw Libraries, and the assistant director there at the time pulled me into his office and said, "Hey, I think you would be good as a librarian, and to move up the ladder here, etc." And he was the one that actually told me that this was an opportunity, and encouraged me to do so.
Where'd you go for your master's?
Wayne State University, and that was back when you actually had to go on campus. So
I remember those days, right?
So I drove there once or twice a week for 2 years. I was working full time, and then did the extra drive, and got my master's.
So, was being a librarian everything you expected it to be?
It's actually been more. It has offered so many opportunities to meet people in the community, to understand what the needs are, and to provide those. It's been wonderful to be able to have constant education, to meet folks like you, to be able to be on the radio and share the joy of libraries and what we do. So it's been a wonderful career.
So 42 years ago, you entered the library world.
Mm-hmm.
How has it changed? Should take the rest of the hour for this one.
I know. I think the biggest thing is the technology. We do still use, and I know this is one of the questions you're going to ask. We do still use the Dewey Decimal System, but we don't have the card drawers anymore. Everything is online. And I think one of the major ways it's changed is the technology has actually made it easier and expanded access, because you can do it in your pajamas in the middle of the night if you want to. You can do it on Sunday evening when the brick and mortar buildings are not open. And if you need a new ebook, in the next 2 minutes and you can't come to the library, you can download it off the website. So I think, people are like, oh, the internet's going to, kill libraries. No, the technology has actually made it somewhat easier for people to access information. And we still do all of the brick and mortar pieces as well. So it's a kind of delicate balance right now to provide both. But people still like their paper books, as evidenced by the hundreds of people here at the book sale.
I mean, it's amazing. It shocks me every year.
Yep, and then they want the things online too. So it's been fun to keep up with all of that.
To give you an idea, folks, we're at the Bay Civic Arena, where there are 2 ice surfaces, and we are in the bigger of the 2 arenas. The ice is not on right now. Of course, it's a concrete floor, but it is filled, table after table after table. Thousands and thousands of books, CDs, DVDs, even cassettes, and books on tape and all of that. You're going to find it all here. And there were lines out both doors when I got here this morning. It opened up at 8 o'clock. And it's been steady. And who says reading is dead?
None of the people in this building say that right now.
I'm pretty sure of that. All right, we're going to take a break. We're talking to Trish Burns. She is, for now, the director of the Bay County Library System until we're done with her, and they're done with her at 5 o'clock today. It is the 50th annual used book sale put on by the Bay County Library System. It's the Friends of the Bay County Library System. We're going to talk about them a little bit, too. It's today till 8 p.m., tomorrow from 10 until 8, Saturday 10 till 5. Right here at the Bay County Civic Arena, 4231 Shrestha Drive in Bay City. Now, it's cash only, but here are the prices, folks. Hardcovers today, $2. Today. Tomorrow, $1. Paperbacks, $1 today, 50 cents tomorrow. Children's books are 50 cents both days. and CDs, DVDs, puzzles, books on tape, records, more. 50 cents today and tomorrow. Saturday is closeout day. $4 gets you to carry whatever box or bag you can carry filled with items. So plan on coming out. And by the way, I mentioned records. I saw boxes and boxes of vinyl. So they actually have, you remember those, 33 RPM vinyl. They've got them. It's all here. The Bay County Library System, Friends of the Library, used book sale. By the way, they are celebrating too. This is the 50th annual sale. Take a break. Be back with Trish Burns after these notes.
Rocket Grab Plus.
Organization, the Friends of the Bay County Library System. How important are organizations like this to the library or any system?
Oh, yikes. Our friends are incredibly important to us, and we are very lucky that we have a friends group that actually does a lot of things, because sometimes there are friends groups that are friends kind of in name only, but our friends group has been very vibrant and very active. They meet every other month and go over the budget for what the book sale raised the past year, and then the staff gets to come in and kind of do pitches on what they would like to spend the money on, and then the friends decide
that's
what they
clever.
would like to spend the money on, which is great. So it gives staff an opportunity. Typically, it is children's staff that ask for things. We've had the teen staff ask, and then sometimes I'll ask for things for the adult staff, but they do, oh my gosh, they put together, they gave us the money for the baby bags, which are bags that we take to the hospitals that have books, different things like that for newborns, so the moms can take the bag home and have a book and an application for a library card right away, so they don't have to go and get it later on. They have that right there. They have put together STEAM kits where kids can check out different technology, STEAM sorts of things. They've put together reading bags that people can take on vacation that have themed books, manipulatives, all sorts of things. Just a wide variety of things that we're thinking about doing, but we're not sure if that's something that's a great idea, so they will often do the seed money for it, and then we decide whether or not it's a fabulous thing for the next year, and then we'll go and continue on. So the fun things that we've done that are new the past several years, a lot of those have started because of Friends money.
And I have no idea how much this sale raises, but I imagine it's fairly significant.
Depending on the year, it's basically between $25,000 and $35,000.
That's fairly significant.
It's definitely significant. Yes.
I mean, how do all these books come to you?
Two different ways. We were talking about this earlier. Books are so personal to people. They don't want to throw them out. They don't want to recycle them necessarily. So they donate them to their library system, and they come to this book sale. And then someone else can find that treasure and take it to their own house. So it's kind of like the giant circle of life
You
of a
gotta
book.
think of it. This was popular long before recycling became popular.
Absolutely. We're like the original recyclers. Take it, bring it back, take it, bring it back.
How many of these books come off the shelves of the library?
A certain amount do come off the shelves of the library. For example, if we order the newest John Grisham title, we may order 30 copies of that to take care of all of the holds that we have right away. And then 6 months later, 25 of those copies are sitting on the shelf. So many of those copies will come to the book sale here, or all of the libraries actually have an ongoing book sale that you can go in and do, every day of the year as well that we're open.
And thousands of books. Where do you keep them all before the sale?
There are tens of thousands of items here this year. The South Side building in Bay City, that's where the Bookmobile lives, and then that's where all of the Friends books for the book sale live. So they live in a separate building.
Did they pre-sort them during the year so you know that these are fiction and these are cooking and these are travel and these are whatever it is?
That's exactly what they do. They meet usually every other week, sometimes weekly, depending on how many donations we get during that week. And the friends will come in and do those sortings, and they'll put the fiction books in fiction boxes, the nonfiction books in nonfiction boxes, etc. And then the morning before the sale, everything comes here, and army of volunteers open up all the books and put them all on the tables for people to browse today.
So how long does it take to set this up?
It is ridiculously quick. If you were to come in yesterday, you would be amazed. We start at about 9 o'clock throwing the tables up, and then between 10 and 12, that's when all of the books actually come on the tables and get out of the boxes. So in 3 hours, tens of thousands of items come out and are on display now. And we had probably 50 volunteers yesterday.
And that's my next question was, how many volunteers do you need to do this? It's a bunch.
For setup, a bunch. And we've been really fortunate. We had a soccer group of girls that came in for their soccer team. We had a group of adults that came in to get some different hours. Some of the staff comes in and volunteers their time, and a majority of the friends come in and they do as well. So we get volunteers from a variety of spots.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the modern library. It's a changed institution, as we talked about earlier. How important has the ability of someone sitting at home to get into the system? How important is it to the library to have that technical connection?
It's important to the library, but I think it's even more important to the people who are sitting in their homes. We've been able to build a very robust website and subscribe to a number of very good databases that only Bay County residents are able to access. I mean, everybody can access the website, but some of the databases that we have and our downloadables, those are only available for Bay County residents. And they can do that every hour of the day. So it's whatever is convenient for the patron. That's what we've been working on a lot over the past decade, is how do we get the access so patrons have a convenient library experience, whether they come into the buildings or whether they're sitting in their pajamas at 2 in the morning.
I guess my question, too, and I've always been surprised by the answer, but in the old days, and I'm old enough to have those old days, if I had a question for which I didn't have an answer, I would call up and chat with a reference librarian who was in the reference department that was filled with books that I couldn't remove. They were the reference books. I'd ask the question, and they'd either go research it right then and there or get back to me with the answer. Today I can sit on my computer and do that in 5 seconds. Have we lost that portion of the library, or do we still have reference librarians?
We have not lost that portion of the library. Yes, you can look it up at home in 5 seconds. Did you get the best answer?
How do I know on the internet?
Bingo. That is exactly my point. Thank you for following up on that. No, you don't know if you've gotten the best answer necessarily. And the reference librarians in the libraries do know if you've gotten the best answer, and that's one of the things that they do, and they still do well. And people come in and ask their questions, and then we also have a chat feature on our website where you can go in and ask your question on the website as well, and one of our reference librarians will answer it that way. So we still do that service, and we can do it either in the building or online.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back with Trish Burns. She is the retiring director of the Bay County Library System. We take a moment to talk about McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland. You know, it's allergy season. And just in case you haven't noticed, allergies seem to be worse this year than they've been in the past. And Quick Lane Freeland wants to keep you healthy while you drive your car. And they do it with a product called FrigiFresh. So let's take a moment here to hear John from Quick Lane Freeland talk about FrigiFresh.
FrigiFresh. Hi.
John, stop in today and get FrigiFresh and drive safe in your car. And while you're at McDonald Ford, why don't you take a look at the lot of new Fords, because McDonald Ford would love to put you in the car of your dreams. Think of these two names, Quick Lane and McDonald Ford, both on the same property in Freeland. They stand together to service all of your driving needs. And we'll be back. We are back with you, and we're chatting with Trish Burns. She is, for now, the director of the Bay County Library System. I say for now because at 5 o'clock today, that will no longer be her title. She has decided to retire. So what are you going to do in retirement other than nothing? Because I don't see you doing nothing.
No, and I prefer the term stepping away.
Stepping away. Okay, she's stepping away.
Retirement just sounds so final for some reason. Yes, so we have a place up north, so I'll be going up north a little bit more, doing a little more outside. I like to paddleboard, I like to ski, and trying to take care of myself a little bit, and, maybe doing some reading for pleasure would be a good idea.
I was just going to ask. You spent your whole life, your whole career anyway, 42 years with books, reading. After all that, do you still want to sit down with a book in your hand and read?
Oh my gosh, almost every night.
You do?
Yes.
So that really is part of your makeup, isn't it?
It is. It's like part of my DNA. Those are some of my earliest memories are of reading. And I have a Kindle. I have a Kindle that lives up north, and I have a Kindle that lives down in my regular.
I got to stop you right there.
Nope. And I have paper books, and I have it. Just depends on what's more convenient for me.
I have difficulty reading on an electronic device. Not difficulty reading the words.
Mm-hmm.
I have difficulty forcing myself to read. I'd much rather have a book in my hand.
I do not disagree. I would much rather have the paper book. It's cozier. You get that tactile turning of the page, and that's what's so important when you're reading with kids, that you have an actual book. When you have, your kid next to you or on your lap, and you've got that paper book in front of them, and you're showing them how to read left to right and how to turn that page and how to actually read, and it's like the best thing you can do for your child.
So I have to ask, poll after poll, survey after survey, internationally, domestically, we're failing our kids. They're not reading at grade level. They're way below grade level. Why, and what do we do about it? And does the library have a role?
Why and what we do about it is too huge of a question to answer this morning. And yes,
and she's stepping back, so I won't get an answer.
Exactly. But no, the library, of course, has a role. We have a number of story times that we do for babies, toddlers, up to 5, 6 years old. And then, so we model how to read books when we do those story times. And then we do finger plays with them. And we do things that the parents can do at home as well. The library has a very important role in literacy and how that goes. And I can't say who the next director is yet because the contract hasn't been signed, but the next director has a big focus on literacy as well. So I think we will see a little more that the library may be doing with literacy activities.
As a youngster, I had trouble reading, not because I couldn't comprehend what was on the page, because I just didn't feel like it and wasn't interested. I have grown up my entire life on the spoken word, and it's what I do. And typically you don't speak the way words are placed on paper. Spoken word and the written word have different structures. And I find at times, because my mind thinks about the spoken word, I have trouble staying interested in the written word. It's in a style I don't recognize, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting point. And I'm going to go back to children and literacy. And one of the things that we have in the library now, they're called Wonder Books. And there's the actual book, and then there's a little speaker next to it. So there's someone reading the book while the child is reading the book. So they're reading it silently, and someone is reading it with them. So they're hearing that and they're seeing that, and that's making the connection, because sometimes that is difficult, like you said. So there are different things yeah, there are different things that we're doing that we can, and technologies that we're employing to assist with that.
Which is really interesting because the spoken word, as I hear it in my brain, kept me from getting good marks in English because I wanted to do it my way.
And see, I don't think that has anything to do with spoken word. I think it has to do with you.
Well, it may be. It may be. But it's always, I mean, the language has fascinated me. I live with it. I mean, it's what I do. But I've always had it. And when I get a book that I can sit down and everything makes sense as I'm reading it, I'm done with that book in a day or two. I mean, I just breeze right through it because they wrote it the way I think it.
Right. So that's why you find your favorite authors, and that's why you go to
Exactly.
the library and say, "Hey, I like this author. Do you have any opportunities for me to read something similar?" And we'll go, "Yes." This
And
is
the other thing I like, I don't remember if it's Patterson. One of them writes in very short chapters. Just 2 or 3 pages, you're through a chapter, and you just keep going through the chapters. I like that.
Well, people look at that and go, "Oh gosh, I just read 12 chapters in
Exactly,
3 minutes."
yeah,
So
right.
it's an instant yes. It's an instant
I think I'm
gratification
doing
thing.
something, yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to take a break as we talk to Trish Burns. We'll come back with one final segment. She is currently the director of the Bay County Library System until 5 o'clock today when she, as she says, steps back. But for the 50th time now, this is the 50th annual Friends of the Bay County Library System used book sale going on here at the Bay County Civic Arena. Today till 8 p.m., tomorrow 10 to 8, Saturday 10 to 5. Now, it is cash only, but these 2025 prices are, I don't think they've changed them over the years. Hardcovers, $2 today, $1 tomorrow. Paperbacks, $1 today, 50 cents tomorrow. Now, let me caution you. You may say to yourself, "Well, I'll go tomorrow when it's half price." Chances are the book you want to read tomorrow won't be there. Today's the day for the best selection. And this is the day I would come. I mean, it's not outrageous in price. Children's books, by the way, are 50 cents today and tomorrow. They have CDs, DVDs, puzzles, books on tape, records, more, 50 cents today and tomorrow. And then Saturday, bring a box or a bag because everything you can stuff in it, $4 for the whole thing. It all happens here at the Bay County Civic Arena, and the Bay County Library System and their friends, the Friends of the Bay County Library System, encourage you to come on out. Once this used book sale is done, you can start thinking about all the books you want to donate next year because they will start taking donations. We'll talk more with Trish about that when we return.
Welcome to retirement. Now,
All right, we're back with you. One final segment with Trish Burns, and this will be her final segment as director of the Bay County Library System. I can't get over that, Trish. I mean, we've been doing this so long. I just never thought this day would come.
I know. And seriously, I wanted to make sure that I had one more opportunity on the radio with you before I left.
You, I assume, knowing you, you gave this a lot of thought, didn't you?
I did give this a lot of thought, absolutely. And it wasn't necessarily a really easy decision. But once I made it, and this sounds very woo-woo, but once I made the decision and had a couple of conversations with people, it was like a weight was lifted, and it became the right decision.
I recognize that because I struggle with decisions sometimes that are life-altering or changing or do this or do that. And you reach a point where you go, Yes.
Yep. Yeah,
Can't
exactly.
wait.
Exactly. And I love what